All right, go Cease.
So how do you turn around, and you mentioned about Arkansas had the short prep. Now Kentucky had a time off to prepare for you, so how do you turn those tables?
Well, Kentucky's lost 5 out of 6. And so they've been going through the same thing. Now the question is, are they healthy now? They've had a player out for the last 4 ball games, the Benton kid, whether or not she's back or not, but she's always played well against us when she was at Auburn or Kentucky. You just turn it around, you enjoy the W, you look for the silver lining. We did some very good stuff in that ball game, but surprisingly, we only shot 33%. I thought we shot better until I just broke down the film all morning. You're not normally going to win 33, but last week South Carolina shot 35, 24, 70, but out-rebounded their opponent by 20-something. And I thought sometimes that's what you have to do to win a ball game. I thought our kids were very active on the boards, and I think that was a key. Now we're fixing to face a lot taller team with tremendous length, maybe a little bit of version of Tennessee is what Kentucky has. They're not as good defensively as Tennessee, but they have the length, and they've got probably the most prolific scorer in the league, and that's in Ryan Howard, who will be top 3 draft choice. So it's just one more SEC All-American that we have to be able to find a way to guard.
Do you sense maybe your team can now kind of take a breath? They're back in the win column. They maybe have some good feelings now. The weight's kind of been lifted.
The weight has been lifted, but you're always into making up for what you've already lost. So the magic number is just to get to 3 now. Get to 3 somehow, some way. Kentucky is trying to figure out the same way. How can they get to 3? Both of us were picked in the top 4 in the league. It was South Carolina, A&M, Tennessee, and Kentucky. Now both of us are trying to pick ourselves up, and both of us have talent, but we have to have results. And this is going to be a very interesting game. We have played well over the years at Kentucky. It used to be we would lose at home, win on the road at Kentucky over the years, but I'm anxious to see the response. They'll go in and probably try to stop Howard. You say, well, you're going to go in and they're going in, they're going in to try to stop Wells probably after that 30 performance. Every team goes in to try to slow down Howard. You're never going to stop her. She's too good off the bounce that has the mid-range game and the three-point range. So what you just want to do is try to keep her under 30%, because she's going to get her shot off no matter what type of defense that you have.
You know, you mentioned about that. You guys did a pretty good job on Ramirez. Ramirez has been a big spark for them. Now you touched on Howard. How do you prevent Howard from being a spark? Is that keeping her under 30%, tough shots, maybe deny her the ball possibly?
Tough shots and not let her get to the foul line. We made a couple mistakes on Ramirez, who was very good at getting to the foul line. It's all pick and roll offense that everybody likes to run. How do you defend it? What do you take away? Do you take the role player away, or do you come off and switch on the screen, or do you play a matchup zone? And I think we'll do all 3. But Howard sometimes can hit the most unbelievable shots you've ever seen. And that's why she's a top 3 draft choice. That's what that next league is all about, being able to create off the bounce, have length, and be able to be a good pro.
Coach Blair,
Yes, sir.
obviously you guys have 4 ranked opponents in the last 7 games for you guys. Do you still believe that you'll make it to the NCAA tournament?
I'm just making it to 3. Okay, that's all I can do right now. All that stuff that we talked about in the first half of the season, we've thrown out the door. The small improvements turn into big improvements. Don't start building your hopes up, because that way you'll lose a tough game or win one, you'll get too high. There's no way when you're 2-7 you can start thinking about anything except getting the next win. And that's all we can do right now. So I'm not going to go put pressure on this team, and then all of a sudden you're like South Carolina, and they go in the first game and get beat at Missouri. We're not looking for South Carolina, we're looking for Kentucky. And there's no pressure on us. We've just got to continue to play better. I liked what we were doing offensively. I liked how when we finally got our post players deep in the last game, we were able to get it to Patty and Roby, but we need to do it twice as much as we did in that game last night. But we're going to have to score over a better defensive team because they have more length.